Good morning, everybody. Sasha with Every Day She's Sparkling. I'm so happy to have anybody on. We've got some people on already. I'm excited. We have some viewers. Today on the Blogger Spotlight, I am super, super crazy excited. I know I say this for everybody, but I really am. To have actually my own personal blog mentor and coach, Cate Rosales from Sweet and Simple Life, here today with us, and we're going to talk all about making money with your blog, because just a little background here. When I first started blogging, her course is the first course that I took, and I found so much amazing information about making money with a blog in different ways. And in all of the courses I've taken since, she had the most all-inclusive list of that. So I thought she was a great guest to bring on, and it's always a popular question, how you make money. So we're going to pull Cate in here. Let's see if this is going to work. Not that way, that way, that way, that way. There we go. And we're on. So welcome, Cate.
Hi.
So glad to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. So let's just get started. I always ask this question first because I love to hear everybody's stories. Everybody's starting is always very different. So tell us a little bit about how you started blogging.
Actually, I started my blog just as a hobby, honestly. I had a full-time job, so it wasn't really about the money. I was pregnant with my first baby, and I was doing way too much browsing on Pinterest and reading mom blogs. And I just remember browsing through those blogs and thinking, I could do this, just the fact that they were writing about their stories and making me laugh and helping me find things that I needed for my baby. I just was so inspired by that, and I've always loved writing. So I just figured putting those passions together, helping people and writing is, the dream job. So
yeah.
I just do it, and here we are.
Yeah, and you know, that's such a common starting point. I think most people just kind of get started just as an idea, right? Mm-hmm. It's just like, well, what can I do with my time? I like to write, I like to interact, I love that. And so it's such a common theme for especially stay-at-home moms, right? Or even if you're working, you want something else to do, some other outlet, some creative thing. So I think it's such a popular way of doing that for sure.
Yeah, totally.
So then for making money wise, like when did you actually start to monetize? Because I know sometimes it takes some time, and how did you get started that way?
Yeah, it can definitely take a little bit of time. I started making money pretty quickly, just a few bucks here and there. It actually started with sponsored work in my case. People would find my blog and they just would like my writing style or what I was talking about. And they would say, do you want to feature our business or our product? And I didn't really want to do reviews necessarily. So I kind of put a spin on that and decided to make a sponsored post, over a product, a baby product, or a local business. And then they would pay me to feature their stuff on my website. And so that's how I got started. I didn't make a ton of money in the beginning. Like I said, it was just a hobby when I started. And it slowly grew into a money-making theme from there because I really enjoyed what I was doing. And I realized you can actually make money from it. So everything kind of just snowballed from that point.
And like when was how long did it take you to sort of get into that snowball mode?
Yeah, it'll be a little bit different for everyone, but in my case, I started making a little bit of money within the first few months, and then the income steadily grew as I added affiliate marketing to my system. And then I would say by about the 6-month mark, I was making pretty steady money, over $1,000 a month. By the time I hit about 6 months of actual work on my blog, treating it like a real business.
Right. Yeah, that's the key. I know we're going to talk a little bit about that too. So you had so many great, because as bloggers, I think we're always, you're always finding new ways. And I think the more you branch out, the more different ways you make money, the better. And that's what I really loved about your courses, because you touched on so many different ways. So, what are some of the most popular ways of making some money as a new blogger?
Yeah, there's so many ways to make money as a blogger. And I really like to emphasize that because I don't like people to feel like if I'm going to be a blogger, I have to run ads on my website or I have to do sponsored work. There's so many options out there. And those are some of the options, but Sponsored work is one, and it's definitely something I recommend because it's fun and it's flexible, and you can promote stuff that you love and recommend anyway, and then make money from it. So sponsored work is a good one. Affiliate marketing is good too, promoting products and services that you use and love, and then you get paid a commission anytime someone clicks on your affiliate link and makes a purchase. So again, it's just kind of promoting and selling your stuff or other people's stuff to your audience. You do have to get used to the fact that you will be selling something. But if it's something that you use and love anyway, it's pretty easy to make money doing that. And then, of course, you can run ads on your site as well, which most bloggers do choose to do. And then selling your own product is always a good idea, too. If you can get to that point where you have something that you can share with your audience that you created on your own, that's great because you get to keep 100% of the profits. So you really can't beat that if you can get to that point with your own blog. So yeah, there's just so many options. If you just do a little bit of digging and decide what works for you and your audience, there's so many ways to make money from your blog.
And so I know, like, maybe a little bit off. So what would you say, like, I mean, do you want to attack all of those things all at once, or did you find if you just focused in on a couple things here and there, or sort of, like anything else, learn them and then move on to the next, or what, where would you spend your focus as a new blogger?
Yeah, I think taking on one at a time is a really good idea, just so you can kind of get your feet wet and figure out if that's going to work for you or not. And it can be really overwhelming. There's so much to learn when it comes to blogging.
There sure is.
Yeah. So if you listen to this live and you think, oh my goodness, now I have to figure out how to do sponsored posts and affiliate marketing, and what does that even mean? Then you'll be totally overwhelmed. So don't do that. Just start with one at a time. I do recommend diving into sponsored posts if you can, because it's fun and it's a good way to make money and kind of learn the process of promoting things that you love to your audience and then making money from it. So sponsored posts and affiliate marketing are two that I do recommend starting with one or the other and just seeing if they fit for you, because it's a quick, easy way to make money. And you kind of learn the process of promoting stuff to your audience without being salesy, because it's really just featuring something that you love to your readers.
Exactly. Yeah. Sharing. Yeah. I mean, that's the whole idea, right? That's how you come across, as not being salesy. When you're just sharing information, that's where the good stuff comes in.
Totally.
Yeah, for sure. Those are great tips, Kate. So we do have, let's see, some people are on. We got a question here, I think. Jess says, hey, Jess and Sydney are on. Sydney says, hey, ladies, you've both been amazing resources for me. I had no idea you had a personal connection to each other. Oh. Thanks so much for all that you both have done to help me. Oh, you're so welcome, Sydney. Sydney's.
You're welcome.
Yeah, she's. We've got some amazing stars here, and I love to see new bloggers and where they're coming from and watch them grow. And it's just been really amazing. These two ladies actually that are on right now, that have posted here, I've been working with them, and bloggers are all connected. So funny you should say that. So that's the one thing that I learned really fast, is that networking and being in touch with other bloggers that you can connect with is so important. So
it is.
Yeah, we're all connected somehow. It's great. So let me just see here. I've got my list of questions to ask you. So your top tips. So I know we've talked about a little bit about some of the tips that you had for making money, focusing in on a couple. Do you have any other tips that you would offer for starting out?
I have a lot of tips. I do think that the best advice I can give to new bloggers is to just jump in and really treat your blog like a business. So many new bloggers they say, I just want to write about what I want to write about, and I don't want to sell, and I don't want to advertise. And I understand the feeling, because usually that's why we get started. We just love to write, or we love to share our stories. But ultimately, when you're trying to make money, you have to sell something. You have to treat your blog like a business. And so that's my best advice. If you're a business owner, then you're going to work really hard. You're going to make hard decisions sometimes. You're going to show up even if you don't feel like it. And you're going to invest in your business. That's what all business owners do. And eventually you're going to be selling something, because that's how you stay in business. So I think if you come at it from that perspective, that you work every day, you invest in your business, And that's the way that you're going to grow. And that's the way that you're going to make money. So that's the best advice that I can give to any blogger, really. If you're feeling discouraged or wondering, how can I make this work? Just pause and think about business and how businesses run and how businesses make money. And then try to implement some strategies in every day of your life so that you can grow your blog and turn it into a business.
Yeah, you're so, I think you really touched on a really key point there, because you do see so many bloggers and they get frustrated and they don't know where to go next.
Yeah.
And even myself, and you and I talked about this on, I think, our last mentoring call. Mm-hmm. And because I think I got to a point where I wasn't sure where to go next. And it wasn't until I actually sat down and, like a business, wrote out my strategies, mm-hmm. like very specifically created an action plan. This is how I'm going to get there. So you can do that if you're wanting to make money, but you can say, I want to make this much money, but how are you going to get there? And you've got to write those things down. So
Absolutely.
and that made all the difference. All of a sudden, everything came into focus. So, so that's a great tip for sure. So I know I'm always raving about your course because I think it's one of the most comprehensive courses out there for getting started as a blogger. I'd love for you to share with the audience, some of the features, some of the things that you have in your blogging course. Tell us about it a little bit so that we can get that out there.
Sure. Yeah. My blogging course is called Becoming a Blogger, and it's really everything that you need to start, grow, and monetize your blog. So I really try to keep everything super simple. Like you said, it's comprehensive, it's all inclusive. It really does cover a lot of ground, but I like to keep it simple because I know how overwhelming blogging can be. So I try to simplify the process so that you can understand how to turn your blog into a business. But we cover everything from the startup process of actually creating your blog, finding your audience, finding your voice, doing sponsored work, doing affiliate marketing. We cover 10 different areas of making money blogging, and that always surprises everyone. Like, you can make money blogging in 10 different ways, but these are the top 10 ways that you can make money blogging. There's actually more than that. And we cover the pros and the cons of each, so you can kind of weigh the options and decide what works for you. Growing your social media channels, growing your email list, which is super important to make money when you're blogging, to reach different people in different areas of their life. Some people are more connected to their email and they'll respond to you, to a business owner or blogger, if you're in their inbox or if you're on their Facebook page or in their Facebook group. So it's really just about connecting with your audience in different ways. And the course touches on all of that, covering yourself legally, because that's super important too. Another thing, we hop into blogging and we just want to write, and then we don't realize it's actually something you have to protect, like a business. And so we cover that. And then every aspect of turning your blog into a real business. So like you said, it's inclusive of everything that I wish I had on day one. Just how do I make this happen? And how do I actually speed up my growth so that I can actually start making money, and make this thing last. So everything I wish I had on day one is what I bundled into this course to help new bloggers.
That's awesome. Yeah. And, so I know she's just, Kate's done a big addition to the course and updated it recently. When I took the course, I was so excited about it. I think it's designed to work over 3 weeks or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think I consumed it all in 2 days. So I was like a maniac. I'm like, I'm going to hear that and that and that and that and that. And so, but it has so much information, and especially the portion on making money. I really found that to be just the best, well-rounded amount of information. And you had stuff in there that I've never seen anywhere else. And so, I always kind of refer back to it. It's kind of my point of reference. So definitely the making money portion of it is amazing. So
that really is the focus too of the course, really. I mean, we cover a lot of other aspects because growing your audience is important. Growing your email list is important. But obviously we're here because we want to make money. We actually want this to be our business, and we don't want to just waste time writing. We actually want to grow a business and make money from it. So that's really the focus of the course. And the stuff that I put in there that you said, you don't really find anywhere else, it's because I either learned it the hard way or I learned it on the job at my day job. I was an online business manager for 10 years. So between those two things, I feel like it adds a lot of value that maybe some bloggers don't really hit in their courses or their trainings.
Awesome. I just realized, we got a question. Oh, Jess says, treating it like a business has definitely helped me. Yes, Jess, that's definitely key for sure. And Sydney is asking, do either of you ladies have any blogging regrets?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Do you want to go first?
Well, I think that's a tough question. That's a good question. I know my limitations. So I think the only regret I would have is maybe not starting right away, knowing what my limitations were and getting overwhelmed, because there's so much to learn about blogging that I think, and nobody wants to come in and not understand it all right away. So I think my biggest regret was not taking a breath, making some things my focus instead of everything my focus. Because I think in the very beginning, I sure spent a lot of time jumping from spot to spot and never really making anything really well. Where now I really stop and say, this is what I need to focus on. And then next I'm going to focus on that. So I think probably making sure that I knew what my limitations were, reaching out when I needed to people like Cate for help, and then just chunking that down a little bit instead of being overwhelmed. That would have been my biggest regret, because I think I could have had more momentum faster if I would have focused a little better. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, that is a really good point. Being focused is super important, and I think a lot of us lack that in the beginning. Honestly, my biggest regret would be not getting into Pinterest earlier. Pinterest is a goldmine for traffic, and everyone always says that. And I wish that I had started that sooner. I think I blogged for almost 3 years before I started really diving into Pinterest. And Pinterest is what really blew up my blog traffic and helped me to reach a wider audience. So that's a regret, just that I didn't start that sooner. And honestly, sitting down too much and not moving my body enough, that's a big regret too. And especially in the beginning, you're a little obsessive with blogging and you want to make money and you want to reach all these people, and you might find yourself sitting too much. So don't do that. I definitely regret not scheduling time to actually take care of myself, get up, move around, and don't just stare at that screen all day long, because there's still a life to live for sure.
That's a great point. And I am guilty of that for sure. Totally. It's hard to break away sometimes, and I'm just staring at a screen all day long.
Yes.
My husband just mentioned it to me right before I got on here, actually. So yes, that's a great point for sure.
Always a work in progress.
Exactly. Jess said, that's hard for me. I also try to learn everything at once. So I've had to make myself start doing one course at a time. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I did the same thing, and I got all these courses, and there's still some I haven't finished because I didn't realize the amount of time and focus, because when you pay for a course, you really should spend, if you've invested it, you should also be ready to invest the time that comes along with that course. Otherwise, the course isn't very useful. So,
right. Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's for sure. One course at a time is definitely the way to go, Jess. So you said awesome answers and great advice. Thank you. So, everybody steps their own way, and you'll see on your own what's going to happen for sure. I think I missed a question. I did, because this is such a popular question, and I know there's so many determining factors, but I forgot to touch back on, like, how long does it take to make money with your blog? Because it's such a popular question, and it's not a hard question to answer. But from your point of view, what do you think, Cate? Like, how long before you start money, or before anybody could start making money realistically?
Yeah, realistically, it will take a little bit of time and effort to start earning money from your blog. So I say that just because I don't want anyone to watch this live or take my course or any course and feel like, if I do these things, I'm going to start making money, this week. That would be great. But most of us don't make money for a few months, and then making steady money is even a little bit harder than that. You're essentially building your own business from scratch. So if you really think of it like that, no one builds a business overnight. It takes time, it takes strategy. So just keeping in mind that a little bit of effort every day is super important. And then I think realistically, within 6 months or so, you can start making decent money from your blog. I wouldn't expect to start making a steady full-time income from your blog until you're about at that 1 year mark where you actually have established an audience and solid content, and you're actually selling something, whether it's through affiliate marketing or sponsored work or your own product or service. But yeah, I would definitely give yourself a solid year to get to the point where you're making steady money. And that's with consistent work every single day too.
Yeah. And I think that there's some, we've talked about a few times, you don't be discouraged by the income reports that you see, how I made $20,000 in my first week, so many times I see them and they're frustrating only because you think I'm doing all this work and how come I'm not making? So there's so many things that go into that. They might have had a blog before. This could be their just, brand new blog that they know all the information. Like if I could go back and do all of it over again, I'd know exactly what I need to do to monetize my blog immediately. So,
there's always more behind the scenes for sure. I don't put too much stock in income reports. I always tell people, if you find inspiration in them, then read them. There's nothing wrong with reading them. I'm not a big fan. I don't recommend reading too many of them just because they're really a marketing tool themselves. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I just think that they end up being a little more discouraging than encouraging. Because like you said, those are people that have been there, done that, and now they're teaching others how to do that. So exactly. I just don't put too much stock in those.
No, and I love reading. They are inspiring. I like to take away from it that there is options, that it can happen, that whatever. And so, but just don't be discouraged by them. Exactly. Just don't know the path and time. And I guarantee those people put in substantial amounts of time and energy to get there. So, and you do have to work it like a business, and you do have to put in time, especially when it's your own business. So yes, for sure. So you've shared so many great tips and advice, Cate. I'm sure the audience would love to hear. I will post a link to Cate's site, and we'll put a link to her course in the course or in the comments section here. But where else can we find you? Where's the best way to connect with you and your be part of your audience as well?
Yeah, the best way to connect with me is going to be through my blogging community on Facebook. We have a large audience there of bloggers, some new, some very seasoned. The group is also called Becoming a Blogger, just like my course. And I spend time there every single day trying to help new bloggers, answering questions, and just helping bloggers find their footing, whether you're brand new or you're just trying to increase your income. So definitely join us there. And then if you share a link to my website, that's where you'll find all my blogging tips too.
Perfect. Awesome. Yeah. And I can tell you that Cate's, the group that she runs, Becoming a Blogger, is fantastic. Great, valuable resources, very good community to be involved with. So I love that there's no question too small. And so you can ask a question, and absolutely, if somebody else isn't helping you, Cate's right there to help too. So definitely I'll post links to all of those things so that we can get them. If you love this interview and you thought it might be of value, please feel free to share it. We love to share our messages around. And if you missed it and you don't have time, or you just not into a video, I will be posting this video along with all the answers to the questions I asked Cate, and just sort of a summary of everything. I'll be posting that on my website later this week, probably Friday. And so we'll get that link out as well. And if you have any questions, please drop them here. Cate and I will check back in and see if anybody has any questions, answer anything we can if you missed the live version. I appreciate you all for being here. So great to have you. Anything else that you want to add, Cate, before we skip off? Anything I hadn't thought of?
No, I think we covered everything, but thank you guys so much for watching, and you for having me, Sasha. It's so wonderful that we connected this way. And like you said, the blogging world is small and it's tight knit, and I love it so much. It's great having you as a friend.
Yes. And I, it is such a great community, and I really value all of the people, and especially you. You've been a great mentor and blogging friend for me. So I really appreciate that you took some time out of your day to pop on this live and help us with all this great information. And I hope everybody has an amazing rest of their Sunday, and talk soon, I guess. That's
all right. Thanks so much for having me.
Great. Yes. Thanks so much.
Bye.